Okay, I got all studs out now. So I'm going to bolt the cases together. So everything's all cleaned up, they should bolt right together. Pretty good. Got all our case bolts here. Make sure they're all the same height. They appear to be all the same height. So that means they all fit. Now if this was a 110 motor, one of these would be about that much longer for the longer bolts to go in the case over here. Looks like we're missing one of the bolts. We don't have the center bolt. Oh well. We don't really need it anyway because it's going to get in the way. Okay, where are we not down all the way? You don't have to put all these bolts in there, but it doesn't hurt to. If you put them all in and tighten them down, you know the case is all the way down. If you don't, and it might be down all the way, but who knows. It can always be off a little. Okay, you come up here and look at your cases, make sure they're flat. These cases have been pretty beat up, so they got edges sticking up. See how the edge right here is sticking up? Rough handling the cases. These are also places where they'll leak because the metal's now, there's a V-shaped groove in between here right now. That's a place for it to leak. You use those fancy gaskets, don't have any gasket material to them, you'll have a leak right there. To stop, you got to put a little dab of sealer right there. If you don't, you might get seepage. I'm going to knock the high spot off. A little bit of a step between the two surfaces too for some reason. I don't know what that's from. Something blowing up, something too much heat when they powder coated it. It dropped too many times. Who knows? But anyway, there's a little bit of a different gap between these two surfaces right here. That one's pretty heavy there. So this one's not too bad on the ends. It's mainly the center part here is where the problem area is. So you look for any big impact marks. See how these are different right between here? But that's not necessarily not factory. These are not equally machined on both sides. But you look for indicators where there's errors in there somewhere. The spigot doesn't feel that bad, but definitely the gasket surface in the middle is pretty crappy for whatever reason. So cross the file a couple more times. Again, level it out slightly. Purposely using a pretty dull file so it doesn't take off much material. The whole case is a little bit off like that. Alright. It's halfway flat now. So you can see we're hitting the high spots here, low spot, high spot. Like I said, as these cases get used, they do not necessarily heat and contract the same, so they warp in different ways. So anyway, that one looks pretty good. Okay, so now I need a bolt that goes through here. So somewhere in my junk pile back in here, I got some bolts. Find something to use. And back in here. Different jobs, different things. Too much crap in the way over there. Here's some bolts. So, see how this one's been cut away. See, it looks like a factory bolt. See how it's undercut? So I should be able to run something like that in there and the one won't get in the way, but you see how long it is. Because you have to cut the case way up under here. This has to be all cut away for this to go through all the way. You have to drill the hole deeper. So there's no way that's going to go in there that deep. First shot, so there you go. What I do is I cut them all the way over to here, thread them that deep. If you go all the way through like S&S wants you to, then you got an unflat surface here to seal against. There'll be a bolt down here, and it's a triangle shaped pad. It's not a round hole for a washer or nut to seal against. So you have to spot face it to make it flat, which cuts away the thickness of your case right there, which weakens the hell out of it. So that's why I don't do that. Stupid. And they give you a bunch of sealing washer and stuff trying to make it not leak. Just stupid. So all you do is just don't drill through. If you don't drill through, it doesn't leak. Pretty simple. Drill and tap it. You go in there about that deep. The bolt only goes in there about this far. If you put a long bolt in there, you go about maybe this far. So I usually put a long bolt in there. See how far the long bolt goes? You want a washer there. It goes in about that deep. You have to undercut the case up to all the way up to here underneath. So you'll see that. That's all part of doing the job. The other case over there has already been done. Alright, so that's what's going to have to get done on this one. We're going to measure these cylinders and see what they are too. So you can see how this has been all undercut through here. So the case gets cut away, and the bolt gets all undercut, so the cylinders can go straight down without hitting on the bolt. So that's what has to be done. Alright, these are the cylinders we're going to use. So you want to just get an M8 cylinder and a twin cam. Yeah, M8s are dirty. So this is an M8. There's your difference. They have about equal bores. You can obviously see the head bolts are a lot wider apart to make room for bigger bores. So this here is getting kind of thin, and this one over here we got a long ways to get, over half inch of material there. You can bore that thing out to all the way out to here. So you can put this thing another 3/4 inch bigger bore in the cylinder if you wanted to. So Harley moved out the bolt pattern. They moved out the bolt pattern a lot. So plenty of room for making a big ass motor. You can run a 4.8 bore in this thing, close to it. Probably about 4.7 wouldn't be too hard to do. So anyway, like I said, these ones here you can't do that. So like I said, this motor is designed to be a lot bigger bore. Looks like the fitting is a little bit bigger, especially on this side over here, but not too much. It's about the same there. So it's just a little bit more, about another 1/8 of an inch all the way around would be my guess. You lay them up here, you can see the difference. Just a little bit there, about equal there, a little bit more on this side. So we get a lot more on that side. So I'm probably not centered with the squat. Yep. There you go. So there you go. You got about 3/8 of an inch more on this side. Yeah, 5/16 probably. All the way around here, up to a 1/2 inch around there. A lot more through here. Obviously, there's a different angle between the cams, between these two. They obviously changed the pushrod design. And this side of the cylinder here, we've only got about 1/8 inch more, 3/16. So, but a lot more potential for a bigger bore. Anyway, there you go. Alright, so this here is what you do not do. You do not leave your cylinders laying on concrete like this. And if you can see how they rust upwards and become a problem. And then it looked like it had been dropped. These are flat spots put in there for a bigger bore, I'm guessing. Yes, this one over here has been done. Can't tell. Yeah, I think it's just a cosmetic looking. It looks like it's been dropped, but it hasn't been. But until you hone it, you don't know. And all this rust and stuff is a problem. This needs to come off before we can do measurements. So I'll have to take these back and blast them and try to stay off of this area here. So I'll have to see how good I am. Alright, so I got to find out if this is a 110 motor or a 113 motor. So if you grab the information sheet here, that's why these are here. See, this one's 110, this one's 113. So which cylinder spigot diameter do we got? Do we got a 4205 or do we got a 4262? 16th difference there, basically. So we grab our caliper over here and measure it. I'm guessing 110. Okay, it's going to be 110. See, it's under 4.2 inches. 4.205 plus or minus 10. So that means the negative side would be 195. The cylinder is 180, counting the rust. So they're going to give you 25 thou clearance is what they want you to give for bore finish. That's pretty stupid. So 205, 205. See how much clearance they give you right here? I don't like putting my cylinders in that loose. I like putting them in a lot tighter than that. 5 to 10 thou is more than sufficient. 5 is more than enough usually. 10 is definitely enough. Well, see, they make it so that you can be way the hell off and still work. So I think I'm going to probably tighten this up a little bit because I don't like them being this loose. That's just stupid. So I'm thinking 190 is plenty adequate. Like I said, that's on a rusty cylinder. I got to go measure it after the rust is off. But we know we're doing a 110. So this is not a 113. So that goes back in the pile. So 110 means that we have to do a bunch of stuff. See how the holes are going to poke through right there? That does happen. So 110 still uses an O-ring for a seal, not a gasket here. 113 uses a gasket here. So I have to cut a counterbore here. And then on this over here is the case cutting I have to do. I have to cut this all out up under here, like that other case was. So that's all part of it. Here's where you drill it deeper. You notice how they say don't go all the way through, unlike Harley. I mean, unlike S&S, excuse me. This is a Harley's direction here. Okay, Harley. So these are the dimensions I use. I've modified what I do from what they say to do. I have my own way of doing things. I make it easier for me to do. Alright, so we know this is going to be a 110 motor. So we're going to set it for 110. Alright, I need to go clean these up, so I'm going to go blast these right now, and I'll run a quick hone through them, so at least I can see what I've been working with. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so here's our clean cylinders, sort of. So I blasted the rust off. didn't get the powder coat. The overspray kind of got the gasket surface slightly, which is good. It helps clean it off a little bit. Still got powder coat on there that I got to get rid of. So the you can see all the rust pitting in here after I cleaned it all on the inside and on the outside both. The outside wasn't actually too awful deep, but the inside is, which is of course the worst place to be rusty is on the inside. So, oh well. So more than likely they're probably already finished the size, but we'll find out. So I went and found the pistons that I guess I'm supposed to use. So I'm going to measure them up, see what clearance we got. So I'm sure the cylinders are probably already done before they were all powder coated and honed and whatever else they do over there. Who knows? So take these and clean them up a little bit. I'm not sure whose pistons these are, so let's see. With as many as numbers as that on them, they're probably Harley. They don't say Screaming Turd on them, so I don't know. They're made by Mall. That's why they're good. Okay, so let's see what size these things are. They should be 4-inch bore if they're 110. Appear to be 4-inch bore. Imagine that. Looks like they're about equal no matter where you measure them. They're actually a little bit tighter at the very bottom. Maybe a little bit bigger. Oh, that's a big difference there. Okay. Yeah, this one's a lot looser than that one. This one's about equal on the end. Okay, that's a good 1.25 or 1/4 thou under. And this one here is 3/4 thou under. So it's a 1/2 thou difference in these two pistons. Oh well. So I don't know if Harley is a standard 4-inch is what it should be, or they should be a little bit bigger, like 4 1/4 like they do on the twin cam. They make it a 1/4 thou over. So I'm gonna give it a 1/4 over. I'm sure we're already way above these numbers, so I don't really care. All I know is if I got this much clearance, I'm not going to worry about it breaking. Okay, so on this mic here, we are about equal. Just past equal. Yeah, 1/4 thou different. That's pretty close. So this is a 1/2 over 0, which is 4 inches plus 0.0005. That'd be 3 zeros. Okay, so let's go see what cylinder size these things are. One's bigger than the other, so more than likely they are all the same over here. We'll see. Oh, what a shocker, it fell right through. Not even close. Okay, let's go up 1/1000. Oh, it slowed down. Oh, fell through on that one. Fell through. So this one's a little bit bigger than this one. Okay, so we're 1 thou oversized. So we're going to be a couple thou more than we need for clearance. Oh well. Prime candidate for piston knurling again. Someone told me that was not the thing to do anymore. Since World War II, you do not knurl pistons. Yeah. They were not around in the 50s and 60s. I'll guarantee you that. Keyboard commandos. They know everything. Alright, so we are going to take this one right here, which should be my 500s. Yep. 500 means that's the number on the stone. That's a good finishing number. Unless you want to go finer, and there's another set finer over there. Now basically I'm just going to do a deglazing job here. We don't know what happened to cylinders since they were powder coated. They usually warp around a little bit and move, get contamination of bores from the heat, otherwise known as called corrosion. So let's see what we get. Okay, I don't like this sweater for holding because it pinches off the blood to my arms, but it's cold, so I'm going to wear it anyway. Dancing around a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, this one's a little more round than the other one, but not by much. Still dancing around as you go up and down the hole. If you watch it, the cylinder will start bouncing as I go in different spots. When it's out around, the stones dig in, that's what makes it bounce around. I'm going to take our fine stones, otherwise known as extra fine. Give it a plateau cut. Two swipes is all you need. Bottom down on my stone. Got no room to back up. I just yank it off the stone, then we'll put two big marks in there I don't want to leave. So that's the finish you get with a plateau. So it's nice and smooth, but it's got the grooves in there for the hole to hold the oil. This one's not plateau cut, it's a little bit darker looking. It's a little bit rougher when feeling. Of course you can't see that, but I can. Okay, reset this up. Yeah, I can back it up now. Look at that. Got room to back up. Okay, we're going to go clean these off and we'll be back. Nice and oily.